Difference between red and black table tennis rubbers? Why do we need to use black and red rubbers in table tennis? Is there a difference between these two colors? Why black rubbers on the forehand side? A player asked me. I found something consistent among the Chinese top players. They play the black rubber on the forehand and the red rubber on the backhand. Is there any reason for this? I will explain you right now. Choosing the best forehand rubber is not the same as the best backhand rubber. Ping pong red versus black rubber? Which one is faster? Which racket color is spinnier? I also answer your common question: why do top Chinese table tennis players always use black rubber on the forehand side and the red rubber on the backhand side? Why do we need two colors of rubbers in table tennis? Let's talk about the table tennis rules and regulations for the racket. Based on the ITTF laws of table tennis, in the beginning, the player can use any color for the rubber: green, rose, blue, black, red. That's why you can see some green and blue rubbers on the old Stiga collection. But during the years of the 1980s, players started using the combination racket with very similar rubber colors. For example, they use dark red normal inverted rubber and black long pimple, or anti-spin, rubber. During the rally, they twiddled the racket to make the deceptive shots. It was very difficult for the opponent to know which rubber was being used, especially on the serve. It's not fun at all to play with the combination rubber player. Very tricky, and then players just profit to get the easy win. Rule of table tennis, two-color rule. Then in 1986, the ITTF rule states that one side of the racket must be bright red and the other side must be black. This rule is applied to counter the twiddle rubber trick of a long pimple and anti-spin player, especially to counter the Chinese players during the World Championship. Another example to show that this rule is very important is Jon Hilton, an English player, only ranked at number 4 in his local club, but won the men's singles title at the European Championships. Because the other players were not used to playing against his tricky combination rubbers with the same color. Which side of the ping pong paddle is forehand? Well, you can choose either the black rubber or the red rubber as your forehand rubber. There are no official paddle regulations that forbid you to choose the racket color. However, if you use Chinese tacky rubber, I recommend you the black rubber on your forehand. Because black rubber is tackier. Tacky on black rubber lasts longer, crucial for Chinese rubber. Black rubber gives more spin. Black rubber gives more feeling for longer stroke, important for forehand loop. Red side versus black side rubber. So what are the main differences between black rubber and red rubber? Well, it's due to the dyeing process in the rubber fabrication that makes black and red bat different. Some experts can easily feel the difference of the same brand racket, but with two different colors. Red and black rubber are not 100% identical. In general, black dye pigment will make black rubber is a little bit softer than red rubber. Black rubber is tackier than the red one. The tackiness of black rubber lasts longer, while the red rubber has these characteristics. Red rubber is harder. The red rubber top sheet is expanded easier. If you have the same rubber, same thickness, you always feel that the red one is a little bit thicker. Red rubber is faster and less tacky. Red rubber in general has less spin. The red pigment makes the top sheet harder, bouncier, hence less dwell time. Why do Chinese players prefer black rubber on their forehands? Chinese table tennis rubbers have several famous marques: Double Happiness, DHS, 729, Globe, Galaxy, Polio, Sword, etc. And these table tennis brands produce both two colors, red and black rubbers. However, due to the dyeing procedure, a coloring material added to the sponge, the properties of the black and red Chinese rubbers are not the same. Chinese rubber with black top sheet. Black rubber is normally tackier than red rubber. And the tackiness of black Chinese rubber lasts longer. When you choose a hard rubber on your forehand, to increase the spin of your service or your soft touch, you need the tackiness. That's the reason why Chinese players always take black rubber as their forehand rubber. Red Chinese table tennis rubber. The red or the black rubber has the same sponge, same hardness, same density. But the red top sheet is a little harder because of the red dye pigment added during the rubber production phase. Red rubber is also less tacky than black rubber. Red Tenergy rubber on the backhand. Since top players select the black rubber on their forehand, the backhand rubber is always red. Normally, on the backhand side, you can't hit hard. You need a bouncy and dynamic rubber, Japanese-style rubber, such as Butterfly Tenergy 05 or Tenergy 64. Recently, ESN European rubber is also very dynamic. These rubbers offer good gear to your shots. How about red and black Japanese rubber? Nowadays, with the advance in dyeing procedure, there is little difference between red and black Japanese rubber. So a black 1005 is exactly the same as the red 1005. But since people just look at the equipment of the top players like Ma Long, Zhang Jike, Wang Hao, Fan Jindong, they get the habit of always getting the red Tenergy rubber as the backhand rubber.
This tutorial is written by Coach EmRatThich. You can read it on the website, PingSunday.com.